Now, of course, as part of this writing an article or an academic scholarly research article or paper to be published in a journal, you need to look at also how do you write the names of the authors, author or authors. Of course, authors are the ones who have contributed a great deal of intellectuality to the research itself, and that in order to make it credited, credible, in order to make it reliable, in order to make it worthwhile. And of course, these authors are responsible for the data, whether data collection or data analysis or conclusions of their research. And they are the ones who will approve the final version of their article, the final manuscript of their article. So here, of course, that I need to point out that the corresponding author, i.e. the author who sends emails and communicates with the journal, is not necessarily the first author of a journal if there are of the article, if there are two articles or two authors or three authors or more than three authors. Of course, this one is actually important to know that the corresponding author is not necessarily the first author of the article. In other words, not the main author of the article. So it can be the corresponding one is not the same as the first author. And that is to do with the authors, of course, the surname first and the first name. And these are depending on, of course, you are writing it under your name. When you are submitting it to a journal, you need to say, send two copies, one anonymous, in other words, without your name in, because they're going to review them. And when they review your article, there's what's called single review or blind review or double blind review. All of these are, or it's not anonymous. In other words, you know who is reviewing it, and they know who you are from the article. But most of the academic journals prefer to have anonymous writers. In other words, you don't mention your name in one of the copies. So you send two copies, one with your names or name, if you are one researcher, or if you're a co-author, you mention both names, and the other version needs to be with no names and you write it anonymous.